Hello. In this video, we're going to be walking through a sample course site created using the Microsoft Teams framework. In this case, the Sociology of Race and Ethnicity. Now, you can create as many teams as you want, and each team is essentially a course for our purposes. And in this case, we opened up one here. And you'll notice, first of all, that you can create as many channels as you want. So when you first create a team or a course, it'll begin with one default channel, general. But you can add as many channels as you want. And if you think of each channel as a dedicated space for interaction, for conversation and collaboration, for class, each channel is almost a separate classroom or a separate virtual space. Um, General is the default, and you'll notice across the top of each channel, it will come with a number of tabs as well. Now, I don't like to use general as the default meeting space for students just because it can easily get cluttered up with lots of notifications and things that you can't remove. Like, for example, these are notifications that I've created a number of assignments in this course. And as such, you'd have to wade through all kinds of notifications to get to what is important. But there are several tabs that are uh, only found in general. So there's the master class notebook. Every channel has its own notebook, which creates a lot of flexibility for what you can do, but only the general channel has the master notebook, which allows you to access the notebook of each individual channel in one space. So here you can see all the collaborative notebooks within each of the different channels. And you can access them all right here. We're going to walk through these all individually when I go into the specific channels, but it's helpful to know that you can see everything in one place if you want to access it easily, the notebooks. If you create assignments, this is also where you go to find assignments as students and turn them in. And obviously, their grades will be reflected here. However, these grades are not synced with SIS or Colab. So that's an important thing to know. Like I said, because general is so cluttered, posts is, by the way, the tab under which all the conversation happens and interactions happen and notifications. I've created a separate channel for announcements so that my students know where to go to see important announcements. Right, so here's an announcement about where they can find their books or how they need to set up accounts for the forum website we'll be using or where to find things in Teams. Uh, and I've created a separate channel to take the place of general as the default meeting space for students. So this is the classroom channel where whenever we have synchronous class meetings, this is where we'll begin. Now, Teams is great as a synchronous and asynchronous space because anything you put up here, any conversations you have, any video meetings you have and recordings, any files and resources are all persistent and stay there. So students can come back and find them. Um, in the classroom space, you'll see that there's you can have announcements in here. You can create polls. Now, the polls you can create in Teams are pretty simple. You use the Forms tool here. At most, you can create polls with 6 options and no more than that. So if you want to do anything more complex, you're going to have to use external tools like Poll Everywhere. But you can embed this poll directly here, and they can see the results right in the conversations. Any files you want, resources here, you can post like a syllabus. Um, and because you can embed as many tabs as you want, these tabs can be linked to a whole range of tools, including external websites, which then look like they're internal to the framework of Teams, or you can create tabs linking directly to PDFs or PowerPoints. I've done so with the syllabus here. So not only is the syllabus located as a file, I have it in a tab that they can then open up and directly view from within Teams. So they can just scroll right in here. As I said earlier, you can put external websites and make them look like they're part of the course website as well. You don't have to go to a separate web browser. So as 3 examples here, I have a forum website, CampusWire, which is like Piazza or Slack, where if you want some more forum activity with your students, you could come right here. And as you can see, this doesn't look like an external website at all. It looks like it's just part of Teams, which is really helpful. Hypothesis is another example of a tool for interaction, collaborative annotation, if you want to log in here. I have a voice thread tab here that students can go right to VoiceThread or to CampusWire or to Hypothesis through these tabs instead of going through an external browser. So it all feels like it's part of an internal course website, which is very nice. Besides the large classroom, one of the things faculty can do is create breakout channels, right? So small group channels. I've hidden a number of them so I don't see them cluttering up my channel display here, but I made a number of small groups. Students can go in and out of these. You can make them private or public. If it's private, only the students whose names are associated with it can go in. If it's public, anyone can go in and out. Unlike Zoom, the instructor can't moderate who goes in and out. Students choose to go in and out on their own. But they can easily go back and forth between channels, so between the main classroom and their small groups, for example. And when they're in their small groups, one of the useful things you can do is use the notebook and post what activities you want them to do as a small group. So, for example, here, very nicely, you can embed hyperlinks to videos. They can either click on this and watch the video externally, or they can actually watch the video from right in here, and they can see what you want them to do. In this case, I want them to watch 2 of 5 videos. They have a choice here, and then as a group discuss the perceptions of and experiences of race that they see revealed in these documentaries. So that's really nice because it's right here. They don't have to click out to an external website. They can literally play it right from within. The other thing you can do, besides creating a large group classroom and small group breakout channels, is to create unit specific channels that are specific to whatever unit you're teaching on. So in this case, I have one unit, the starting unit on race and racism and inequality. And again, you can have your post tab where all the conversations happen. Here I have like an icebreaker sort of 1 minute response question for them to get their brains moving. They can reply to it and start thinking about it. Here's a review poll on key concepts that you can use to interact with students. Here are the files. But the main thing that's nice about this is, again, the notebook, just like with the small group channel, where you can put um, a number of things. So I have 3 different pages in the notebook for each unit. One is a list of the readings and assignments specific to that unit. So students can go here and look directly, oh, okay, we're in the unit talking about race and racism. What are the things I'm going to need to be reading and what are the things I'm going to be assessed on? And you can directly hyperlink external websites. So if they clicked on it, it would open up in an external browser. Um, they can very easily see their readings and assignments here. Then, if you're doing things in class, just like they were going to do together in the small group, like watch videos or walk through PowerPoint slides, they can do that here as well. You can have all the content embedded in one place, easily accessible, both from when you're in class together synchronously and later if they want to come back and see it again because it's a persistent space, this is going to be here. Because these notebooks are collaborative and students can interact with them as well and write in them, you can also create collaborative and interactive activities. Like this one's a class covenant at the start of the semester where I invite students to share their expectations for what kind of a learning environment they want to build together. Again, you can embed various things up here. In terms of you can add different tabs. And so if I want a more complex poll than the simple poll that you can create within Teams using Microsoft Forms, which only allows for 6 questions, I might want to use Poll Everywhere. So here I have a link to a Poll Everywhere poll that I made that has many more options than 6. And if I want them to see the results of the poll, I have a separate tab because Poll Everywhere does a separate link for the results. And if we're walking through PowerPoint lectures, I can have it directly linked as a tab up here as well, just like I did with the PDF for the syllabus. And students can walk through the PowerPoints with me. Not only that, they can interact with this collaboratively using the comment feature here. Um, there it is. So they could comment on the slides. So there's a lot of potential for collaboration and interaction within Teams. Um, Coming here back to general again, now that you've seen the notebooks within specific channels, you can see how helpful it is to be able to access all the notebooks in one master notebook tab here in the general channel, right? So all of those Unit 1 tabs can be found in one space right here. The small group tabs can be found here. If I want to organize it differently, I can have readings and assignments for all the different units located here, and students can come to the content library. Or the in-class resources, likewise. All of them per unit can be accessed here directly. So there's a lot you can do within Teams with this structure. Just by way of information, the other set of tabs over here on the left are a set of global tabs. So if you want to interact with all the assignments across all of your teams or course sites, you can see them here. For or all of the files across all of your teams, you can see them here. Likewise, all the activity across all of this. But if you want to go into a team-specific site, then you're going to go directly into the particular team and see the things here. So I hope you found that helpful. Um, Best wishes teaching.